Welcome to the Political Matrix News. The history of United States politics could well have changed, but for a puff of wind, a slight twist of the head on Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania. If you don't know how close we came to losing Donald Trump on Saturday, you would be shocked, absolutely shocked. The kid from Bethel Park, that's a northern suburb of Pittsburgh, bought 50 rounds of ammo Saturday morning, loaded up a magazine, had taken his dad's AR-15. I say AR platform because every 50 gun companies make those rifles, and they all have different numbers on them, but they're still pretty much all the same thing. He got off at least 7, maybe 8 shots. We're not really sure about that. We know that Donald Trump took one in the right ear, which of course you can't see because mine's, oh, there it is, right here, and bloodied him up pretty good, but we know that the head wounds. Greg, point to your right ear so everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's the other right ear, Greg.
The
other right ear. There you go. There you go. Millimeters, not a centimeter, not an inch, millimeters, the width of a bullet. Not the width of a AA battery. Less than that.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
less than that.
Yeah, for a 5.56, that is it is tiny. It's not even as big around as a pencil.
No, it really isn't. And from a distance of 135 yards, he did have good optics or a decent scope on that AR-15, and he wasn't a bad shot. He wanted to attack the president. He hit the president. He hit somebody else, put a bullet in their head and killed them. He hit 2 other people. One person has been treated and released. Another one is still in critical condition at the hospital. And we don't have a lot of information on that wound and everything else. Now, everything changes because the Secret Service is under the microscope. The FBI is doing the criminal investigation. The scene in Butler, Pennsylvania is still secured, as in you ain't going there, still shut down. People have come back and have collected belongings that they left when they ran for their lives. But let me go back as we do this on Monday night, so we're a little over, I can't believe it's only been 2 days and about 4 hours since this happened. In the first hour of the shooting on Saturday, it was Saturday right at evening, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock where I was in the Central Time Zone. We heard that a woman had been shot. Trump had been shot. We heard there were 2 shooters with pistols in the crowd. We heard, everything we heard. And I'm watching CNN. I'm flipping to Fox, back to CNN. Everything we heard was wrong, other than the fact that the president had been shot. That's it. The director of the Secret Service, which, by the way, does now work for the Department of Homeland Security. We could go for hours talking about Mayorkas, the Secretary of Homeland Security. If he had any guts, he would literally fall on his sword and resign. Biden hadn't had the guts to fire anybody. No, he really,
Why would
really
he fire
doesn't.
people who are doing the job he's hired them to do?
Exactly. Scott Miller in Pensacola, Greg Fink in Gainesville. Guys, pick it up from there. Where do we go?
For me, as I'm watching this investigation unfold, I keep thinking, my knee-jerk reaction is to say, well, the FBI will get in there and they'll get to the truth of this matter and we'll know something. And then I'm like, well, wait a second. We can't trust the FBI now. No. They've already demonstrated themselves to be untrustworthy. I don't want to. I'm starting to suggest that they had any part or any hand in participating or enabling this. But if they're not going to do anything that makes the administration look bad, they're not going to be allowed to report anything that makes the administration look bad. And for the last 8 years, the Democrats have been mortgaging all of our, trusted or at least reasonably well respected institutions in their deranged pursuit of Donald Trump. And so now, when we desperately need to be able to believe in the FBI, and frankly, the Secret Service, who are now under Mayorkas, who has shown spectacular, incompetence in handling the border.
Exactly.
So, I mean, so what are we left to do? We desperately need Trump to take office just so he can clean house and get us back to, a trustworthy administration.
I mean, it really is about making America great again and making all these organizations great again. I mean, we used to have a esteemed, really crystal pristine FBI. I mean, they were the top. I mean, and we had a great law enforcement agency. I mean, the CIA was top. So I mean, all the intelligence agencies were putting the safety of the people ahead of their political agenda. Somehow they got turned around somewhere. I don't know where it got turned around.
Listen,
I mean, the reality here is that their political agenda is driving their investigations. And like Scott said, they don't want to make the administration look weak or make them look bad. We're not saying that they're involved in this at all. But if there's any kind of truth to find, and it's going to embarrass somebody who's paying their paycheck, they're not going to talk about it.
No, and what we see is that you're right, we cannot trust the FBI. I know that J. Edgar Hoover, who ran it for more than 50 years, when he wasn't cross-dressing, had files, and I mean some serious dirt on a lot of people, and it's not really known where all those files got to when J. Edgar Hoover died. But there was a major house cleaning, and frankly, the politicization that happened during this regime is just, even really during the Obama regime as well, is just beyond the pale. They were trusted. Well, J. Edgar Hoover said, "Hey, get me a good Irish Catholic boy, and he could never betray his country." So there's that. The Secret Service says we didn't have enough people to staff it. We called on local law enforcement. They didn't have enough people to staff it. And I'll tell you what, I've covered every political campaign since 1972. I've made political rallies, all the speeches of all the winners, interviewed probably half, maybe more, of the candidates over the years. The Secret Service can and does pull people from every agency with a badge, with a gun. They give them a lapel pin and a radio, end of story. For the local cop to say he climbed up to the roof of that building, the shooter, turned his rifle towards him, and the local cop jumped back down. That's not how it goes in law enforcement.
No.
You duck down, you pull your pistol, you get on the radio and say, "Gun, gun, gun," and then you put your pistol over the edge and start shooting. And with the Secret Service, here's gun, gun, gun. It's going to be a gang tackle of Donald Trump, and they're going to fly him off the stage. That drill is done in 10 seconds or less, 10 out of 10 times. They practice, practice, practice. A couple of things that bother me a lot. In profiling what happened on Saturday, they equate, and I want you to understand, they equate what happened on Saturday with the attack on Paul Pelosi in his house in San Francisco. That is the husband of the Speaker of the House.
Wow.
The Speaker was not within 3,000 miles of her house, but it turns out that was Paul Pelosi's gay lover who was doing that, and it was all on the phone. They've got video of the whole thing. Crap makes no sense. Has nothing to do with political violence, okay? It just doesn't. They managed to forget the Bernie Sanders supporter, another misguided dweeb who had a rifle, an SKS Chinese-made assault rifle, which it really is, and he goes to the congressional baseball team practice, which was June or early July, and shoots up and damn near kills Congressman Steve Scalise from Louisiana, who, by the way, is now the majority whip in the Congress.
He's a majority leader now.
And what?
He's a majority leader now. He just got promoted.
Oh, okay. I didn't get the memo on that. So they forgot that one, but Paul Pelosi get whacked a couple times with a hammer. They never talked about, interestingly enough, Harry Reid, the senator from Nevada, who managed to die in good time and have an airport named after him. But of course, what they talk about is that he had a whacked out brother who was a drunk and who used to beat the crap out of Harry. And it just took one time too many on that. The Secret Service saying we didn't have enough people. I've talked to Army guys, Navy guys. We're talking like NCIS, an Army CID, Criminal Investigation Division, who guys are normally plain clothes, not uniform types. U.S. deputy marshals, normally they wear, a lot of them wear uniforms, but no, there they are in plain clothes. And the Secret Service will literally drain an entire office. There'll be some secretary answering the phone. Everybody else is on site. And they would have done that. They would have staffed that particular site from Pittsburgh and Erie and probably Buffalo and maybe even Philadelphia. So some of this I'm not buying. And now the urban myth coming around is that one of the members of the counter sniper team, the guys up on the roof with big rifles and bigger bullets, had called not once, not twice, but 3 times. I got a guy with a gun. Stand down, stand down. Huh? Apparently, and he took the shot while the shooter was shooting, but not quick enough. He could have shot him a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes earlier.
Right.
And somehow the local cop who crawled up, his report didn't get back to the Secret Service. I find that almost impossible to believe. Almost impossible.
Well, my only take on that, and it is definitely a concerning thing. I agree with you. We need to it needs to be thoroughly investigated, but we also need to take into account that these guys, the specific building that kid was on was not under control of the Secret Service. They had the local cops watching that, and it's not impossible that that they wanted to verify that it wasn't another law enforcement officer in that position. There was a local guy that they hadn't had just missed, but that would be about the only possible explanation for delaying the shot that I can see. I think there's a compelling argument to be made that the people on the ground calling out and pointing to the guy, he's up there, right. He's up there, he's up there, rushed the kid's shot. So that may be the thing that also contributed to Trump, not getting hit.
Possibly the deputy, the kid did see the deputy come up behind him because he swung his rifle around. That's when the deputy jumped down to the ground.
Yeah.
So that might have rushed a shot as well. But the thing is, I mean, there should have been more planning with this. I was told, I heard on a radio show today that they were only given a day and a half planning for all the buildings because there's short notice, because they're short people. And so the people that got there, they usually have 3 days to plan it, 3 or 4 days. But for this one instance, they're only given a day and a half. And so they really felt that they were gypped on getting enough time to properly plan a safe, secure event.
What do you bet this is not going to be an issue for the rest of the campaign, huh?
I mean, who allocates
what do you bet?
the Secret Service? I mean, who's the one who allocates the Secret Service? Who's the one that tells them how many people they need and everything?
They decide. Mayorkas is the be all.
Border Patrol guy.
Yeah,
the guy handling the border.
Yeah, he's in charge of Homeland Security, dude.
Oh, I know that, but I mean, he can't handle the border. He keeps saying that there's not enough people there.
All is well. Remain calm. Yeah, we've heard that one before. And I just realized, I remember seeing video of J.D. Vance down at the border. So when he stands up next to Kamala,
at least he was there,
who's the border czar, and I'll say, so Senator Vance, what do you think about the border? He said, well, unlike the vice president,
never been,
unlike the woman designated to be the border czarina, who's never been, I've been 2 or 3 times. Once with Sean Hannity. They showed me everything. I can visualize that. I can hear his tone of voice already. By the way, first Marine nominated for president or vice president, right there. First guy in at least 100 years with facial hair.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Scott, you got a shot.
There you go. That really scares the hell out of me.
Beard works.
It's funny that the comparison of him to Kamala Harris and the border, because I mean the closest Kamala has been to the border is a bar in Cabo San Lucas.
Probably. unless there was a little no-tell motel just on the north side of Tijuana.
Okay.
So we'll see. We're going to wrap it up for here on behalf of Scott Miller holding down the fort in Pensacola and Greg Fink in the should be the capital city of Gainesville, but it's really not. I'm Rob Milford in Orlando. This is the Political Matrix News. There are buttons. There should be buttons to say like, love. These are great guys. I want to share this. I want to share this to somebody I like. I want to share this to somebody to piss them off. You know, those buttons, they really do. And you can follow and subscribe. How much are subscriptions, by the way?
Free.
Oh, they're free.
Free? Oh, crap.
Now they're free,
I thought people had to pay. Okay, right now they're free. Okay, if you subscribe now, in all perpetuity, we have a list of who subscribes. Forever and ever and ever, you will be free.
Absolutely.
When the time comes, we start jacking up the prices. Don't sweat it. Thanks for joining the Political Matrix News.
Nice.